The untold story of Brad Maddox's downward spiral in the WWE.
I've been separated from my group. It's been a couple of hours now, I think. I'm not sure. I was trying to find my way out, and I can't. But I'm going to stay here.
For most WWE superstars these days, they will make their debut on the main roster in pretty standard ways, by coming up through NXT, showing up on the Raw after Mania, that sort of thing. But sometimes WWE can get a bit creative with
I like how you showed Ezekiel, like Ezekiel was like a new member of the roster or something.
debuting their stars. Sometimes a standard copy-paste debut just won't cut it. Perhaps this future star came in during a high-profile match like Solo Sikoa. Perhaps they came in during the Royal Rumble match like AJ Styles. Or perhaps they are simply a referee looking to make a mark on the pro wrestling business as a WWE superstar. Like today's topic of conversation, Brad Maddox. Yeah, that's right, Brad Maddox, a name you probably have forgotten about in WWE. Brad
Completely fucking forgot about.
had
Jesus.
a fairly odd career in the company when thinking about it. Not only did he
Welcome to the LGBTQ community. This isn't an it's an LGBTQ friendly community, right? Because I do support, you feel me, like people like Jay Valid, right? You see that he has the rainbow emojis equipped. Like, straight niggas don't even have that. Feel me?
have a very unique introduction to the
Supportive,
company, but he
I'm an
just
ally.
had this weird aura around him that felt unlike many in the company. Sure, he never really lit the world on fire, but Maddox did leave an impression on those
Nigga
watching
ain't
during
gay
his
like
small
you.
stay in the promotion.
Cap.
So today, let us take a look back and see how Brad Maddox's
I'm not
very
gay.
unique career in WWE unfolded and what happened afterwards, because this story takes an unexpected turn.
I 100% forgot about Brad Maddox's existence until I saw the title of this video.
After competing in WWE's developmental system for 4 years, a stint that saw him experiment with several characters, including a necrophile,
Beef mode.
Maddox made his debut for WWE on the August 20th edition of Raw. However, while he was probably initially excited to get the call up to the main roster, Brad would quickly learn that he would not be an in-ring competitor. No, instead, he would have to act as a referee, which if you ask me is still a great gig. WWE, you know how to reach me. My email's in the description. You don't have to take any bumps, and you're still under the bright lights of global television. However, for Maddox, there was still that drive, that need to get his hands dirty and to leave a lasting impact as a performer. So Maddox waited patiently for an opportunity to make a name for himself, which he found a few months into his time wearing the black and white shirt. During the main event of Hell in a Cell between CM Punk and the still undefeated Ryback over the WWE Championship, Ryback looked to have the match won as he lifted Punk onto his shoulders. However, Maddox, who was the referee for the match, shockingly low-blowed Ryback, blind saving everyone and saving Punk. Afterwards, Punk caught Ryback down so Brad could fast count the pin. A referee just saved CM Punk from the most dangerous threat to his championship reign. On Raw afterwards, Maddox explained that his actions had nothing to do with CM Punk or even saving Punk's near year-long run with the WWE title. No, instead, Maddox intervened in the match for his own self-interest. After trying for years to achieve his goals of becoming a WWE superstar,
I remember this.
Maddox was going nowhere, so
TH14?
he took the chance to be a referee and attacked Ryback in hopes of
Alright.
earning a WWE contract off of this newfound fame. Upon hearing this, Vince McMahon decided that this behavior should be rewarded. After all, he always talks about grabbing the brass ring and taking
I'm not gonna lie, Punk never left a lot. There's only a couple things that would have been changed. I don't think Daniel Bryan would have gotten his moment at WrestleMania. Or if he did, it wouldn't have been like the same. Because Triple H was supposed to fight CM Punk at WrestleMania instead of Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. And then after that, I don't know. I think CM Punk would have had to leave for a little bit anyways. Because he, like, you could tell ever since he, like, after the Shield shit had happened, after all that, he was just kind of lost. Like, they didn't really know what to do with him. Like, after he went against Brock Lesnar and all that shit, like, he was just kind of there on the roster. So I don't know what the future plans were for him, but, like, he didn't really have a direction. You know what I'm saying? They would have had to spice some shit up, change his character up a little bit or something, but I don't know. It would have been crazy, though, because they went through some dark times after Punk was gone. So, hey, I mean, I was going to say AEW's doing all right. They're doing all right, but at least they're not losing MJF, because if they were losing MJF, too, it would have been cooked.
Taking your moments, so he gave Maddox an opportunity to prove what he can do. A match was made between Maddox and Ryback, where if Maddox was able to win, he would earn a $1 million contract as the WWE's newest superstar. However, by this time, Ryback was completely unstoppable. Literally, apart from his loss at Hell in a Cell, Ryback had been unbeaten since his debut. So with that, along with Ryback's pre-existing rage towards Maddox, he was able to pick apart Brad in a matter of moments before continuing the assault after he had won the match. And in case you couldn't already tell, Ryback made sure to let the fans know that he hits hard by screaming it at the audience in hilarious fashion. But with Maddox now completely unconscious, Ryback carried him towards the stage, throwing him in the back of an ambulance and out of WWE. However,
Yeah, I was about to say, that was like the last thing I remember from him, though.
it wouldn't be the end of our wannabe wrestler. You see, Maddox had developed a bit of an ego around this time, believing that he had become a YouTube sensation. So a few weeks later, he made his way back over to Raw to make a deal with general manager Vicky Guerrero at the time. If he was able to win a match that night, then he would get a Raw contract. Unfortunately for him, though, Maddox would be forced to deal with a snake who slithered in to steal his moment.
Yikes.
Randy Orton was chosen by Vicky to get rid of Brad, defeating him and kicking him back off of Raw. But this pursuit continued on, with Maddox going on to lose another shot at joining the main roster on SmackDown after losing to Brodus Clay, Great Khali, and Sheamus. But later, Maddox was involved in another angle featuring CM Punk. By this point, The Shield had already debuted to assist Punk on several occasions, with Punk denying that he had any involvement in the early attacks. However, footage featuring Punk's manager, Paul Heyman at the time, had surfaced that saw him interacting with The Shield and Maddox. But in a twist to Maddox's story, he would come out the following week to reveal that he was the one that leaked the footage. And this was met with several responses. Of course, The Shield didn't take too kindly to the leaked footage, so they proceeded to assault Brad on Raw. But Brad got a much more positive response from Vicky Guerrero, who, upon learning of this conspiracy with Punk and Heyman, would reward him with an assistant general manager position on Raw. Following several months of appearances on Raw, as well as a quick loss to Big E Langston on NXT, Brad's time would come after Stephanie McMahon fired Vicky from her position, and in anger, Vince would announce to the world that the new Raw general manager would be none other than Brad Maddox. Yeah, the guy went from a simple WWE referee to the guy running the whole damn show. And nobody seemed more shocked than Maddox himself, who stood there with his mouth open upon hearing the news. And while his time as manager was a bit forgettable, he still made some pretty memorable decisions.
But it's like, why do I not remember any of this happening?
During his run. Most notably, he was the one who created the SummerSlam main event match between John Cena and Daniel Bryan, essentially being the one to kick off Bryan's legendary run towards the WrestleMania 30 main event. However,
Wait, what the fuck? Maddox was there for that?
if you remember, that match was also the beginning.
He took Punk idea with the Shield, Roman replaced Stone's thought when they took his idea. Yeah, it was I think it was Chris Hero, right? But whenever he was in NXT, he was Cassius Ohno. This nigga. It was this nigga. He was supposed to be Roman Reigns in the Shield. It was supposed to be this nigga, John Moxley, and Seth Rollins. Supposed to be Chris Hero. Fuck up, I started out the video out.
Beginning of the authority era of WWE, essentially rendering Maddox's position as general manager pointless since Triple H and Stephanie began overseeing Raw as its evil dictators. However, Brad did try to buddy up with the authority in hopes of keeping his power on Raw, personally aligning with Randy Orton as he helped Orton deal with his enemies in Big Show and Dolph Ziggler. Maddox even had a hand in Stephanie firing Big Show on Raw after he refused to take orders from Brad following weeks of tension. Big Show responded to this on SmackDown by knocking out the Raw GM, writing him off TV. Maddox did soon return though, but he quickly found himself on the bad side of the authority, and this led to a no DQ match between himself and Randy Orton, only for Orton to once again defeat Brad in brutal fashion. Following the match, he was stretched out as he slowly disappeared disappeared from our screens. But Brad did keep trying to win over the Authority by helping Kane during his matches leading into WrestleMania 30. However, despite the assistance, Maddox still failed to gain any sort of affection from the Authority, who soon fired him from his position as general manager, leading him to primarily work on house shows for the rest of his WWE career. He was also fired the following year on November 25th in 2015, but even this case in Brad's career was odd. Yes, despite the rest of his career feeling rather weird, even his exit from the WWE was a bit strange, as the reason for his release was...
No, facts. I had no idea he was like... Bro, I remember this. I remember him like doing the whole like shit with Ryback and CM Punk. I remember him coming out. I remember him going against Ryback, which makes sense. But then after that, I kind of remember this, like, vaguely. Like, I didn't know he was the whole general manager. I didn't know that. But I remember, like, the stuff with him and Vicky Guerrero a little bit. But, like,
was
a lot of this I just don't
profanity?
remember. Like, why didn't they send him to NXT, bro? Like, him just being a regular member of NXT. Like, why didn't they just do that? Because then he could have actually developed a little bit.
He was a bit strange, as the reason for his release was for the use of profanity, and it wasn't even really anything bad, as he tried to gain heat by calling the crowd cocky pricks. Hell, it was even during a dark match, and yet WWE still decided to...
Nigga got fired for some shit he said in a dark match is crazy.
Release him. It almost feels in a way like WWE just needed an excuse to get rid of him after relegating him to a seemingly permanent position off screen. Now, whether this has also anything to do with the fact that Brad Maddox, Paige, and Xavier Woods had a little moment that was leaked to the media, I'm not sure, but you can kind of hint.
He was in the tape too?
At what I'm getting at. However, before leaving the company, Brad Maddox tried to go out of his way to add his name back into the public eye. Like Zack Ryder before him, Brad started posting videos to YouTube. But after a few typical vlog videos, Maddox would upload his next video from inside of a cave. In the video, he pleads with the audience to call the authorities to help save him from deep within a cave in Mexico, trapped with just a little bit of water and food. He then proceeded to upload more videos from the cave for the next few days, getting more and more deranged with each passing day. On his final video in the cave, he had gone completely mad, quoting Hamlet, screaming, and putting on voices before saying, "Maybe Stephanie shouldn't have fired me," all with dirt and grime covering his face.
Or maybe Stephanie shouldn't have fired me from my job.
Maddox then
I think it's crazy as fuck.
Walked off screen, with those watching hearing the squeak of a door open. And a few seconds later, a light turned on, with the whole scare in the cave situation revealed as being fake. But what was going on? Had he gone crazy? Why did he try to trick us? Well, Maddox followed up these videos with him essentially...
Wait, I was about to say, is this like him, like, you know what I'm saying, doing some like, return to wrestling or some shit?
Making fun of those in the comments. That is before bringing things back to his career in WWE. He went on to call his house his cave that he was trapped in now that he was fired from the company that he had fought so hard to get into. He had hit, essentially, rock bottom, as he said in his own words, with WWE fully to blame for his downward spiral. His final words on his last video in this series hinted towards a darker future for Maddox. He wanted two things: his knife, and for someone to come find him.
Where's my knife? First person to find me gets to feel my pain.
Really weird, I'm not gonna lie. But with his WWE career over, Maddox's final message to the public was that of a broken, deranged man. After clawing his way to finally making it to WWE, Brad Maddox was constantly thrown in some pretty strange situations. Not only was he the referee that broke Ryback's undefeated streak, but he was also made the general manager of Raw right before the Authority would come in and change the entire dynamic of the company. He was a jobber, yet at some points one of the most important parts of Raw. However, whenever Brad showed up on Raw, you could always tell there may have been something to him. He had kind of a unique look, he had the mic skills to act as a mouthpiece, and he could work as a decent competitor in the ring. He clearly had a lot of ideas and creativity as well, as shown during his YouTube videos, and his time both in dark matches and in development. In fact, even in dark matches, Maddox showed off some creativity by coming up with new ideas for his character, despite not appearing on screen. He had multiple names, a few gimmicks, and even a tag team with Adam Rose called Beef Mode, which is both hilarious and unique to anything anyone was doing doing at the time. Would he have ever been a main eventer? No, probably not, especially with rising stars like Daniel Bryan, The Shield, and more clearly outclassing him in the ring. But there's still something there, something untapped in the mind of Brad Maddox, and perhaps one day we could see him return to pro wrestling to push that creative mind into the hearts of fans all around the world, or maybe he had never left that cave that we had seen in his YouTube videos. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, subscribe to not miss the next video.
I feel like, though, I think Maddox, like, if I was in that position, I was already, like, exposed to mainstream audiences by being, like, the general manager, yada yada, what have you. I think I would have had the game. I would have had to fuck the whole game up. You know what I'm saying? I would have just went on some indie promotion, some shit. What year was this? 2016? 2013, something like that. Oh no, 2014. And then they fired him in 2015. I'd say yeah, in 2016 I probably would have went and joined like ROH or some shit, bro. Dead ass. Bought a little bit of character to ROH. By then, make a name for myself, and then 3 years later joined AEW. And you know what I'm saying? Could have been, could have been good. Not everybody mixes the main roster given prominent camera time or TV home video. Kudos, my man, living the dream. Should have been a tag team champion with Xavier. I see what you did there, bro. I recently started. That vid was fire. Yeah, you little horn dog. I recently started watching NXT this year, and I fuck with it. No, I fuck with NXT. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people weren't even fucking with NXT whenever they first started the 2.0 shit. I fuck with the 2.0 shit, bro. I fuck with 2.0. I'm glad they dropped the 2.0 though, but NXT right now is really good. Like, it's in a really good spot. I like it. And I like the revolving door that they have going on, though. Like, the new stars get, like, mixed in with the old ones. So that way when the old ones leave, it doesn't feel like there's an empty hole anymore, right? Because now they're there to pick up the slack, and then it goes again. Like, the new people come in, they slowly get trickled in, and eventually those new people are in the main event. They fiddle around in the main event with the old people leave, and then by then there's already some new people ready for the main event too. It's great. It's a great little cycle. Shawn Michaels is doing his thing down there. Rather be a commentator like Michael Cole because he doesn't know the script anymore. All his reactions are real, or a WWE wrestler. I'd go with a wrestler. I would rather be a wrestler. But if you're talking about, like, right now, I'd be a commentator for sure. I'd for sure be a commentator. Like, I would honestly want to be one of those background, the backstage interviewers, bro. No, me personally, I'd rather be one of them. Be a backstage interviewer, let them do their thing. You know what I'm saying? Add a little bit of humor in there. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'd be an interviewer, bro. I'd be an interviewer. Oh God, I'd be an interviewer. I'd be funny as fuck backstage, bro. Oh God, that shit would be funny. Bro. The CM Punk Seth Rollins shit is finna hit like crack, bro. Oh my God, bro. Oh shit, that shit's finna hit like crack.